Hello everybody, how are you all doing tonight? I hope you guys have had a great day trading with me. That was really fun on Twitter. That was probably one of the most fun I've ever had in a really long time on Twitter. I was calling out a lot of the plays today on Bitcoin, right? I was actually breaking down Elliot wave to show at people how I can do it on a 1 minute time frame. And that is really hard to do, but the reason why I did it was so I can actually show you guys that Elliot wave is awesome if you put in a lot of work, right? You got to put in a lot of work into this kind of stuff if you want to be good at it, right? So right now is it's actually about 2 in the morning right now. I'd appreciate if you guys upvoted it on Steemit, but only upvote it if you guys actually believe the material is good, right? I don't want you guys to just do it because you're watching the video and I'm saying it. I want to actually earn the respect from you guys, right? Just like how you guys have earned the respect from me by appreciating the work that I do. So that's why I do these videos for you guys, because I know you guys appreciate it. Without an audience, it's not fun, right? Why do something if you don't have an audience where you guys can reciprocate the respect? And make sure you guys also like, subscribe, and share to this stuff as well. Excuse me there. So it's about 2 in the morning. I got into my little frenzy, so I apologize in advance first of all if I don't have as much energy or enthusiasm around this late at night. Of course everybody gets tired, right? 2 in the morning. But me, I get into this mode of really needing to solve a puzzle. Like, you know what I mean? To me, I see TA as like a puzzle or a crossword that I cannot get out of my head regardless of how I try, and I need to solve it. Like, to give you guys an example, okay? I look at this chart once and I actually get like a snapshot of it in my head. And yeah, like I'll remember this chart. Like I'll go to bed and I'll remember it. I'm not saying I have an eidetic memory or anything or whatever the word is. I'm like photographic memory, far from it. But when you look at charts enough and you analyze it enough, like I'll snap it in my head, right? And I'll remember actually every little thing about it in terms of the movements. And I'll try so hard to solve it in my head while going to bed that I just cannot stop. So I was actually trying to sleep earlier today, and I'm like, you know what, I cannot stop thinking about this no matter how tired I am. I'm not going to go to bed. So here I am, guys, with a 2-liter thermos of coffee, ready to hammer out some plays right here. Because Bitcoin is about to do something really freaking weird, guys. And we need to figure it out together. Put it that way, okay? Now, before we start, I want to debate on something and tell you guys how a trader should think, okay? A trader should think like this. They should try to set up a theory, a thesis, a hypothesis, whatever, and then you should try to disprove yourself. Does that make sense? You have to try to disprove yourself. Now, if you try to prove yourself right because you thought something is true, that is a horrible way to do TA, because then you become biased and then you try to connect the dots and then you just try to join up the lines to make it fit to your criteria. But if you come up with a theory, you have to say this to yourself: I'm going to try to disprove this theory, okay? Does that make sense to you? So it's kind of like in math, right? Sometimes you can disprove something just by finding one simple case. And if you find one simple case and it makes sense, then you can prove something that was true by disproving it, right? So I hope that kind of makes sense. So I hope that you guys adopt the mentality of, yes, I believe that this is what is going on, but I'm now going to make sure I try to prove myself wrong, and you try to find a lot of loopholes in it. And the moment that you find some loopholes in it, that is going to be when you know that it's not valid. Now, I've seen this everywhere on the internet, okay, guys? I've seen this everywhere on the internet right now. A, B, C, D, and E. That is completely wrong, first of all, and I'm going to show you guys why, all right? A, B, C, D, Elliot wave. Okay, I'm just pulling it up on Google here right now. You know, just the first one. Doesn't matter which one I get. You guys notice ABC, 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 ABC? Yeah, it's because it has 3 wave structures, okay? Now, if you find some of them, first of all, with a 5 wave, yeah, that'll disprove it, first of all. Secondly, if you find any of them that are irregular, such as, you know, point C being lower than point A, right here, you've also disproved it as well. So now I'm going to show you guys what I mean. First of all, we count 5 waves in here, guys. No matter how anyone sees this, this is 5 waves in here, okay? This is disproving it, number 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, like that, okay? Now this fits fine for a criteria of ABC, like that, okay? This also fits fine as well for a criteria of A, B, and C. No problem, right? No problem at all. But it's this one right here that proves it entirely wrong, okay? This D right here, if this was A, B, C, it just doesn't make sense for something to, for the C point to terminate with a lower high than A. That's the second thing that disproves it, other than the 5 waves coming down. And the third thing that disproves it is this is a 5-wave structure coming down, not a 3-wave ABC correction. So I've literally just found 3 loopholes in here that have completely, guys, completely disproved the theory that this is an ABCDE type of triangle, right? So if you believe something is to be true, you cannot have your mind set on it, okay? And I'm talking about guys who have like 20, 30,000 Twitter followers who are posting things like this, okay? And I want to be clear that no, it is not my Asian friends, okay? It's not any of them at all. I'm not calling anyone out. I'm just generally speaking about people who are posting wrong information, put it that way. And it's like the most simple things that I'm catching, right? So it makes me wonder, like, are they just trying to prove themselves right? You know what I mean? Like, are they just trying to prove themselves right rather than trying to prove themselves wrong? So sure, sometimes if something fits the description, awesome, it'll work. But then you gotta also find things that will not make it work, right? Because you have to also think outside of the box. If you are always biased, then you will always be defensive of your position. You have to think of this as something that's not emotional, not rational, not biased. Yeah, as much as I'd want this to get to $20,000, right? I'm not going to find ways to connect dots. We're just going to keep it completely unemotional. We're going to keep it completely outside of fundamentals. We're going to keep it completely outside of what we think to be right, because what we think to be right doesn't matter. You have to see this as a puzzle, okay? If you are doing a crossword, there's only one right answer. There's not multiple answers. But sometimes there can be actually multiple answers, but one of them is more right than the other. Students, I'm sure some of you guys are students, right? You guys have written tests where there are some right answers, but then there were some other answers that were way better, right? And then even though you say to your professor, hey, this is a good answer too, then he or she will say, but the answer was this one because it's a better answer, right? So so that's what I try to do every day as a technical analyst. And I'm up right now quite a bit on EOS. Pretty happy right now. I'm up not really much here. I only put a little bit in my margin account to play today. I only wanted to play about 5K, 4K maybe. Here, I'll show you guys it. I'll just show you guys my position here, what I do sometimes, okay? Let me just move it over. So this is all that I play, guys. I don't really play a big amount, you know? I'm just refreshing the page here. Da 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 da. Yeah, that's all I play sometimes, guys. You know, just play a little bit at a time there. Keep maybe 4 or 5K that I can play in my margin account. I'll gain like 50 bucks at a time, 40 bucks at a time. Today I'm up about 2K. I'm pretty happy about that, I guess. Can't complain. But you know what, honestly, yeah, trading, like, you have to, I don't even know why I showed you guys that. I'm a little bit loopy right now because I'm on coffee and and it's late at night. So, but you know what, guys, you guys are going to get to know me very well, and I'm not going to pretend to be someone I'm not, right? I'm not always going to be energetic all the time, and I will say it flat out when I don't have that much energy, right? So yeah, and just like right now, I just don't want you guys to judge me, that's all, because I'm trying to just be myself and honest, right? So now I think to myself, this is not A, B, C, D, and E, okay? Now, if that's not A, B, C, D, E, then it must be an A, B, C for now. A, B, C, like that, right? And then I say to myself, okay, well, what's the count here? I know that that's 1. I know that that's 2. Is this 3? And then is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Because if I counted from there, what I do, this is my main argument right now that is giving me a headache, guys. I have not stopped thinking about this yet. So my main argument is this 3 right here? 4, somewhere up there, and then 5, just like that. Okay. Now I would like to make note that in this case, case 1, 3 to 4, meaning we need to go from wave 3 to 4 and then complete 5, okay? But the note is that we uptrend because wave 4 is done, or wave 4 is counter trend and wave 3 is completing. So remember this fact and this argument that we're making. Okay, case 1, we need to go from wave 3 to 4 because wave 4 is the counter trend, right? And wave 3 is completing. Now we say to ourselves, could this possibly be true? Now let's look at another case scenario. I want to show you guys this scenario as well. Let's say that this right here was wave 4, okay? And then this was wave 5 right there. Now we are going to make note that if this is indeed the bottom right here, guys, then that means that we are done the entire correction. Because guys, regardless of what happens, I've counted it. I've broken this down more than I can break it down already. Like I've hammered at it for us, right? And we've done it together for a few days now. This was about 2,417, and then this one right here is actually 2,495. See, this is all I do all day, guys. Take a look. I'm always up. I kid you not that like I just got impeccable timing that people think it's really ridiculous, guys, that I'm making 40 to 50 to 60 to 70 bucks a day, or sorry, not a day, trade there. But you got to keep in mind that I'm doing this like literally dozens of times a day, guys. It's my style. It's my strategy. I scalp. I'm good at it. I'm good at making $60 in 5 minutes, 10 times, 20 times a day. So that's what scalping is, guys. It's pretty fun, actually. I don't mind it at all. So Bitcoin is making its way to about 8K again here now, right? So it's looking pretty good. I'm just being transparent with you guys. I reply to almost everybody. Have you noticed, okay? If I don't get to you, I am so sorry for not being able to reply back to all of you guys, okay? But if you guys have questions, I hope you know that as long as they're valid questions, I try my best to reply back to everybody every single time, right? So I apologize, though, if I don't get back to everybody. But my point is, because I talk to everybody, I do feel like I have a lot of, you guys are also, I know you guys, right? I see your comments. I get the general vibe of the community. I want you guys to participate in it. I want to participate in it as well. So yeah, that's why I kind of ramble sometimes as well, because you guys, there's money on the line, right? There's money on the line, and we're also friends at the end of the day, where we'll get to know each other for a long time. And I'm super corny, guys. I'm so corny. So now we say to ourselves, if this was 3 to 4 right here, if this was 3 to 4, then this whole thing would be done. Now we're going to make our case 2 argument, okay? Our case 2 argument is that, entire structure is done and uptrend begins, okay? Uptrend begins. Now, what do you guys notice about the similarity? Okay? The similarity is that the wave 4 is the counter trend that needs to go up, right? Which means it goes up. And then case 2 is that the whole thing is done and we're going up. You guys starting to see the similarity here. That means that regardless of what the heck happens, guys, whether we are done this entire correction or not, okay, depending on the count that I did, well, we're going up anyways. And there's actually 5 waves that's forming in here right now. Therefore, I'm led to believe that regardless of this entire correction is done or not, based on Elliot wave count, then we are still going to have to uptrend for a little bit. So I have no reason to believe that we're going to enter into a super, super long extended wave here. Okay, I can't assume that because this is, this is now the 3rd wave, and regardless, this is now 1, 2, 3, 4, and basically 5, just like that. it's really hard not to assume that this is, this is not going to happen, guys. It's not going to be like this, okay? Where we're going to get some like ridiculous scenario like that, regardless of what anyone says, okay? We're not going to get some ridiculous scenario for wave 5. It just doesn't work like that for Elliott wave, guys. All of this has a pattern that we keep track of, that we follow, all right? We follow and we keep track of, and yeah, this is not going to happen. We're going to go to like 5K. Whoever says that to you guys, you guys have to use a series of deduction, right? And we're deducing that this right here, this substructure, we have to understand that we're not going to get a huge long fifth wave, like a gigantic one, when the first two waves were relatively proportional already. It just doesn't make sense to have something like this once again. Okay, like a huge one there. It has to be relative to this structure right here. And because I firmly believe that this structure is about to be completed right here, then we're going to uptrend regardless of the entire wave correction is done or not. So I like to solve these puzzles by using a series of steps, right? A series of process of elimination. And then I try to see which one makes more sense, Philicon. Which one actually makes way more sense than another. And they both make a lot of sense, okay? I'll put it that way. Like this one makes a lot of sense to me as well, where we get a huge fifth one in here like that, okay? That could very well be it, where we get this one started here instead, actually. So this one was 3 there, and we get maybe like a fourth one, whatever, something like that, and then we finish the structure like this, right? This makes entire sense to me as well. And if anyone could argue this, it'd be really hard to argue this, guys. I assure you, okay? It'd be very, very difficult to argue this point right here, okay? So, yeah, it's up in the air. You know what I mean? If anybody could correct me, where they have a very valid argument, where they can point out which one of the two cases are right, awesome. I'm definitely down to hear it, right? I want to get opinions from other people to see where I'm getting in the wrong, right? But realistically, I don't think anybody could really prove me wrong or right, because that's the problem with Elliott wave. Sometimes you just don't know until you know, right? Until the very end. But once you know at the very end, that it will help you. So in many cases, it will set you up for success so you can plan for the future. But in some other cases as well, it's not going to be as good because you can only see it in hindsight. And that is the problem with many different theories, right? So sometimes you have to take a step back. As much as I love Elliott wave, excuse me, as much as I love Elliott wave, guys, it's not my bread and butter, right? It's not all of it. It's the majority of it where I use it for strategizing, but I do see the fault and I recognize it as well. Therefore, I don't set it in stone. So I move on. I move on, guys. Okay? I move on from Elliott wave. I have my possible counts right now. I know based on Elliott wave, just in general, and the two cases that I pointed out, right, that we are going to end up uptrending regardless. Therefore, I'm led to believe that regardless of the count, the uptrend that is going to happen in a few days, I think, the uptrend that's going to happen in a few days, what we'll do to plan ahead is we'll actually test the impulse wave up, and then we'll count it to see what kind of structure we get, okay? And then if we get a very sloppy type of correction, then we know that it's still part of an extended correction. But if we get a beautiful impulse wave up, and there's not a lot of issues, right, and it retraces accordingly as well, then we'll know that it's an impulse wave up. That is why I'm not really a good swing trader, to be honest. Okay, I'm not a good investor. I'm really good at living in the moment for these charts and playing it play by play, like you guys saw me do it on Twitter today. So that's why I'd rather be a much more reactive trader than a predictive trader, because a reactive trader can live in the moment. He can change up his strategy very well as well, and then you can go from there. So let's acknowledge this. I hope you guys don't mind me introducing a lot of psychology into here. I firmly believe in the psychology of trading and the logic behind it as well. And I don't try to add any emotion into it, right? I only think about it from the perspective of being rational and being logical, right? Think of it as like a flow chart. And I studied math, like I mentioned, and because I studied math, right, and you know, I've got a background in both math and in engineering, I think those two are very they're good fields to teach you how to think systematically, put it that way, through a series of steps of solving puzzles. So that's kind of the way that I think about these kind of puzzles. If I'm that's kind of a little bit weird, I get that, right, guys? But yeah, it's just kind of how it is, and that's just me there. So remember my $51 there? I'm not only at like $9 now. I didn't take my profit. I didn't take my profit because I'm too busy talking to you guys. But honestly, I don't care. I don't do this for money. Just put it that way, okay? I think you guys know what I mean. I don't do this. I don't do this for money at all. Money's the last thing on my mind when it comes to crypto. When you guys do this long enough, like, I'm gonna say this right now, that when you guys do this long enough, trust me, the last thing you'll chase is money. Because I'm not saying I've got like 19, 20, 50 million dollars, okay, guys? What I'm saying is that you get very, very passionate about it, and the last thing that is on your mind is money, okay? If you guys do this and you chase profit, you will never ever be freaking successful. Take my word on it. You got to go through the series of steps to learn, to make your mistakes, to lose yourself a crap ton of money, but most importantly, learn from those experiences, especially, right? If you play for the journey and you play for the process to learn, to acquire skills, to grow, the game becomes very different, guys. Like, we're talking about a completely different game, okay? Okay, I'm just gonna actually close my position here very quickly. Don't mind me, okay, guys? Nah, I'm not gonna close it. I don't care. I honestly don't care if I'm down like a little bit. Things are gonna rebound. I mean, think about it, guys. Do you guys really think we're gonna break down of here? Do you really think we're just gonna smash through this and go to like 7,500? Come on. Really, like, let's look at BTC long and versus short, okay? Let's go look at that right now. So these are my coins, guys. I'm only looking at Ripple right now because I'm just interested on how far it's gonna go. I'm gonna laugh if it gets back to like a quarter. Guys, if Ripple gets back to a quarter, or like the 30 cents range, 40-cent range, I'm never gonna look at Ripple again. Like, what a crap coin if it goes up to $3.30 and it falls down to 0.77 cents, like, or 77 cents. Like, if it falls down to a quarter, this is the biggest crap coin ever. Like, you know what I mean? Think of a pump and dump that goes really high and then returns back to its normal price. That could be Ripple for you, okay? They really need to fix those centralization issues. They need to stop empowering all these central banks as well, that, you know, where they run nodes, because they're the bigger players in the market there, and the people who run nodes for Ripple basically have, you know, control. It's centralized. That's a big issue with Ripple, if you guys don't know that right now, okay? Now, I'm no fundamental analyst, as you guys know. I keep up with the very basics, but I see the major flaw in it because I do understand centralization and decentralization very well. That's what got me into the game, right? I wanted to, yeah, do that. So anyways, let's look at BTC long and BTC short. So what we're noticing right now about the shorts is this, okay? Is that there's not many, people are not racking up, but take a look at this, okay? Do you guys see this right here? It's 2 in the morning, right? Since about 1 p.m. there, all the shorts, guys, they ended up just dropping. Look, it's dropping like that, right? Crazy, right? So right now we're at about 13,000 shorts versus 22,000 long. So I just got to get my chart back up on this one. I keep this screen on 3-minute chart, okay? I keep my main screen on basically bitfinex, and then I keep another screen that looks pretty much just like this, okay? My main screen is a 37-inch 4K TV or monitor or whatever, but I can't record in that one because if I do, it would take me about 4 hours to upload a video, and yeah, and I don't really want to like down render it. I'd rather just record in 1080p. And I got another monitor which I'll show you guys another time, and that one looks exactly like this. It's a 1080p, but that one is actually on a 10 minute, It's on, excuse me there, it's on a 5-minute chart. So I've got my 3-minute charts here, and then I've got my 5-minute charts on my other screen, and then my bitfinex one, I always keep it on a 1-minute chart, no matter what. I keep it on a 1-minute chart because I'm a day trader, and it's important to prioritize your time frames. So I don't even look at 15-minute charts really when I play, guys. I only look at like a super low time frame there. Sorry, my mic cut out there for a sec. Yeah, so when you look at, anyways, I just want to give you guys, I'll do like a setup video kind of another time. It's not a really big priority for me to show that kind of stuff. I'm more so interested in doing TA for you guys. So anyways, we are down here, right? We're down here at this trend line. So we ask ourselves, is it really just gonna break through? Is that really possible? Maybe, right? Maybe, but the volume is dying off right now. But it doesn't mean that people are selling off heavily. Like, look at right here, okay? This is a hard sell-off. Super hard sell-off. Now, let me see if I can actually get my bitfinex USD long for short table here. I'm gonna see if I can get there. It's loading it right now. Sometimes it doesn't work because it gets overloaded. But we'll see how it goes. I'm just trying to load it right now. I don't know why this just doesn't really work anymore now. It used to work like really well, you know, now you just get errors and crap like that. What I wanted to see was the buy volume versus sell volume, but you can only see it here as well, which sucks. Okay, it doesn't work anymore, that crappy site, whatever. So anyways, I don't think it's gonna break out of here, guys, to be honest. Just based on my Elliot wave extensions, nobody really wants to sell anymore. Nobody's entering a short position either, okay? Literally, nobody's entering a short position right now, guys. And because no one's entering a short position, and no one's really selling off right now, and the longs are actually holding, how can we not believe that it's not going to bounce off of here? I mean, my target is, you know, I kept it under 7,500 right here, right? Just was commenting for a wick, and I took a higher end, 7,900, and my target still stands, guys. It still stands for the bounce. That you guys got to keep in mind. If we're talking about if it goes to 75 even, it betrays everything, right? It betrays here, this point there, and it goes even lower, right? Does that make sense? And then this would have to be moved. This, if it goes even lower than that, this would be moved to the extreme end, and then only this tiny wick and what, a little wick there would touch it or something. So it doesn't seem likely to me. It seems likely to me that it's like this, okay? I'm gonna show you guys what I think it really is. I take volume. Now take volume like this. Volume, okay? Support, support, support. Right there, right? Those are the key moments where there's been support. So how am I supposed to believe that this right here, it's contracting to this squeeze here, right? Is actually going to break these massive 3 volume bars. Really hard for me to think that it will. And I don't see hard sell-offs. Based on Elliot wave count, this wave is almost done already. Whether this is 4 going up because this was 1, 2, 3, 4 and then going up, or whether it's because this was 3 and that's 4 and then this is all 1 and then it goes up to start an impulse. Either way, right? Either way, we're going to get an uptrend soon, and we just simply can't break down like all of it. Maybe this one is not going to go down right now, but you know, there's always this possibility as well, right? 3, we get a slight uptrend, and then we go down a lot. You know, we go down a lot, maybe even break it if it's that bad. But then if I counted it like this, where it goes 1, oh, sorry, it goes 1, 2, 3, and then this is 4, and all of this already is 5. Cool, that works as well. I'm more so leaning towards this one as well now that we've rationalized it together, guys. I know that there's not a lot of volume in there right now, but nobody's wanting to sell. Keep in mind, like for Dow theory, right? For Dow theory, there's many different phases, right? And the excess phase is what kills people. If you guys don't know what that is, go check it out. Dow theory, D-O-W. D-O-W, like Dow Jones, okay? Basically, there's a few different phases. I'll just generally speak about it. I don't really speak about it much, right? But there's a few phases such as, you know, the accumulation phase, right? And then there's the public participation phase, and then there's the excess phase, right? Where investors at the beginning, people who are bigger players, they will be accumulating it, right? And then eventually there's the public participation phase where you know people like us will join in on it, right? We'll figure it out, okay? If we're buying some or not, and then the public finally starts to get involved in it, right? And then the excess phase is what kills people. And during that phase, it takes advantage of the people. It takes advantage of people in general, where the investors and everybody during the public participation phase as well, they have everything already, okay? So then the investors decide to spike up the market, right? And then they just move the market. And the people that were wanting to get in, they get left out entirely, right? Because they're too slow. And we have to think of this as a strategy game where we're literally trying to take each other's money, right? So if we leave some people in the dust, great, no problem at all. And an investor, they could actually spike up a market, right? Anytime they want. But then the people that have the FOMO, where they didn't get in because it's not during the excess phase, well, then they'll buy into strength, making the market even stronger, right? So right now, for all we know, we can be during some sort of accumulation phase right now where the investors are slowly loading up, or the people that are playing with about a few $1 million, right? I've got some friends who play with a pretty big amount, you know, over 7 figures. I'm sorry if that sounded like, you know, rude or anything by saying that. I was just more so pointing out a fact that some of my friends play with a lot, and they are very familiar with how to screw over the market when it comes to leaving people in the dust. It's a strategy game after all, and we try to take advantage of people in general because the money comes from somewhere, right? Yeah. So, and then, you know, we notice this big trend line here as well, which acts as a major resistance, right? So let's go over some indicators. I'm mainly going by price action and trend lines and Elliott wave right now. Yesterday's candle was really nasty, guys. It was a really, really, it was a really ugly candle. It really was, okay? Yeah, it was an ugly candle. Like, not gonna deny that. We're on the daily as well right now for Bitcoin. So we gotta look on it historically, okay? We gotta look at it historically that the last time it dipped super duper low was basically right here, right? That's the lowest point. And where do you guys think the average point is? Would you agree with me that right around here maybe is about the average? Yeah, you would. Okay. Like that, right? So the way I'm seeing this right now as well, okay, I'm going to show you guys something right here. Would you agree with me that this is wave 1 right there, okay? This is where wave 1 began, right there, okay? Right here, and on the RSI. Well, take a look at the RSI right here, guys. Sorry, give me a second. Regardless of what it is, look at this. I always draw patterns in my RSI. Would you guys agree with me that this looks pretty, you know, pretty crazy, right? Right? Look at this. Remember before, right here, we saw this uptrending like that. Let's figure out where that point was. Oh, look at that, guys. See where it was? It was this point right here. This section where we got that support, do you remember me calling that out? Is that section there? And we were going to see if we can break out of that, but we clearly didn't, because it was actually a second wave correction, I believe. Or sorry, the fourth wave correction, right? The whole thing was probably a fourth wave correction, I'm guessing. And then we broke out of it and come down. So, you know, this could very well be a count on here as well then. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, like that. No, that doesn't look good. I'm counting that wrong. I didn't mean it like that. It's not really possible to count on a low time frame like this. Not for that. Let's just ignore what I said about the Elliott wave thing just now on here, right? I was just trying out new things in front of you guys, and sometimes they don't work, so, alright. But what we do see is that RSI can easily be used like trend lines for supports and resistances in them. And we can't help but think to ourselves that this right here was a major support for RSI right here. And because it was a major support, are we just going to shatter through it? No, I don't think so, guys. I think that I'm going to be accumulating a lot right now because I would expect a bounce, right? I'll definitely expect a bounce in there. Can't help but think that right now. So yeah, I'm just going to remove all this here right now. Is there anything else that I can bring up in here, guys? What do you think, huh? I don't think so. I really don't think I can bring up anything. Yeah, I stand, I stand back and I believe that we are pretty much reaching a peak right now. So just to summarize, I beat this chart to death, like I have really beat it to death, this chart right now. And it's very hard to think of anything right now that can, make it seem like we're gonna break through it right now. Really, the sell volume is so low now, guys. Like, it really is. We're reaching some oversold zones already on the 4-hour chart, okay? On the 3-hour chart, we're still down ticking. I see that right there as well right now. No problem at all. On the 1-hour chart, let's take a look. Right here, we're obviously getting low, but this is almost a trigger chart. Look, this is almost acting as a trigger chart for me. A trigger chart is something that will signal a change, okay? The way I see this right now is, sure, this wants to come down a little. This looks like it wants to curve up a little bit right now like that. And this one wants to come down eventually and snap. This one wants to curve down like that. This that's going like that. See what I mean? Looks like it wants to definitely downtrend a tiny bit, maybe not a lot, but eventually it's going to bullishly diverge in my opinion. Like I'm trying to look for a bearish scenario. Do you guys get what I'm saying? I'm trying to look for a bearish scenario right now. And trust me, guys, I'm one of the biggest bears you'll ever meet, okay? When I say bear, for the people that don't know, there's always a raging battle between the bulls and the bears. The bears want to drive up the market to profit by buying cheap and selling high. Oh, sorry, the bulls, that's what they want to do. But the bears have different philosophies, right? They believe in basically two things, you can say, just to summarize in a nutshell. The two things that they believe in is, one, they want to sell their coins to buy it back cheaper, right? To have quantity and accumulate more. But the main thing that a bear really is to me is a shorter. A shorting is not as simple as selling it and then buying it cheaper. Shorting means, leveraging in a margin position. And that is really different concept, guys, okay? It's a super different concept that you guys need to brush up on if you do not know what shorting is. I've made a video on it. I will link it at the end of this video. There's a lot of math behind it involving lending and funding as well, and we really need to know what we get into. So that's why we have this USB long versus short table. So when I say short, it's a very complicated subject that I'm getting into if you don't know what shorting is, right? This doesn't mean people just selling, right, and taking profit. It means people have officially entered a position that is betting against the market going up. A shorter is someone, once again, is someone who bets against the market and believes that it is going down. And a shorter, like myself, we make money on the downtrend because we believe that the market is going to tank and go against us. That is how I make the majority of my income, by basically shorting. I know that sounds really bad, and it sounds very, what's the word, cynical or whatever, like bad, like negative, but unfortunately, that's what I specialize in. So what I'm doing is I'm looking for a very bearish scenario, and I just simply cannot find one that much. I believe that we will bounce from here, but the more important thing that I believe is that we could possibly get down to a lower range as well. And when I say a lower range, I'm talking about like between 7,500 and where we are now, because I do believe that there could possibly be a wick, right? A wick rejection, a wick rejected rather, like that. So it's hard for me to believe, based on everything that I've talked about here already, that we are just gonna fly through it and get to like 6-7 Ks or something. I mean, we're slowly leveling off right now. and this is between 75 and 7900. My correction still stands from days ago. I just cannot see it, guys. Like, just tanking lower than 7500 right now. Yeah, like we're, this one's gonna find support soon. I mean, look at it, guys. It doesn't really want to get that low of an RSI, Really, it doesn't. It's so hard to believe right now that even the 5-minute RSI is not going low. Like, you guys want to see some crazy downtrend on the 5-minute chart? This is some crazy downtrend. This is like in the 20s right now. Does it look like it's in the 20s there? No, not at all, right? Not at all. So here we're at 7,800, but my corrections target still stands, guys. I'm going to look at getting a lot more alts, like around that range right there. I will 100% get myself a lot of coins at around the 7,500, 7,600 range, and I will definitely keep an eye out on there. So if we look on the USD short versus the USD table right now, or sorry, the USD long table, we see the shorts. Not really many people are entering more shorts there, right? Let's see about the long. Well, if we look on here on, let's say, the 15-minute chart, what we see is actually people are entering long positions now, guys. Yeah, people are starting to enter long positions, and definitely they are. Wow, it's a lot of people are stacking up Bitcoin right now. They want to buy at 7,800 right now badly. I'm just looking at the order book right now, like the 77, 7,800s right now. Oh wow, the short table just went up, see? Now we're at 75.51. Did you guys see that spike up just now? It's really weird. I like that. Huh. So I'm just trying to keep an eye on here always, just to take a look at who's entering what, who's doing what here. Wow, oh, someone just, oh wow, we're going up right now. This just spiked. Guys, we're gonna go up. This might be it right now. People are really entering long position. Did you guys just see that spike up there? That's a lot. That's like 500 Bitcoin. Wow, we're going up right now, guys. We're going up right now. Just keep watching it with me. You guys will see what I mean right now, okay? This is gonna go up. People are gonna realize that very soon. Look how many people are entering a long position. Wow, look how many people are entering short position too. This is a raging battle right now between the bulls and the bears. I take that back, that we were going up, because these guys are also shorting. So what's happening right now is these guys are not, these guys are basically market selling right now to spike up the market, okay? To short the market. They're executing margin orders right now to try to drive down the price. But this is also going up because obviously it's their market executing into people who have asks, right? They have bids right there. They have bids up there, so it'll simultaneously fill up both of them at the same time. So if you guys notice, this is quite a battle going on there, right? Which also means that the volume is also heavily picking up right now. Look at that, it's going up now. Look at, do you guys see what's going on? Like, take a look. It's a big battle right here. Look, the 7,800 range, the volume is probably going to start picking up soon. I don't know why my bitfinex does that sometimes. Let's see what I mean. I was going to say that the volume is really picking up. There's heavy interest here right now. If we see the Bitcoin long and the shorts pick up right here, then we can easily be able to assume that the volume is picking up, and there's heavy interest here as well right now. But regardless of what's going, I can beat this to death. Trust me, guys. I can talk to you for 5 hours about charts, okay? Because I literally do this for 16 hours a day. I look at charts and I analyze it, and I try to find correlation. And the hardest thing, guys, is to stop. So I'm gonna end this video right now. I think I have beat this thing to death right now on every single thing, like every time frame I've looked at, right? I've looked at MACD, I've looked at RSI, I've looked at trend lines as well. I've looked at Elliot wave, like I've looked at candlestick formations. I've evaluated from all the different perspectives that I would want to right now. There's a lot more, which I'm not gonna get into. Oh good gosh, I'm not even going to start. Someone requested that I talk about harmonic patterns, and I use it to trade, guys. I do, right? But I'm not going to get into it because it's too complicated. It's too complicated. I know it very well, guys. Like, just as an example, like, harmonic patterns are over here, where you can get a cipher, right? So it's, if that was X right there, right? If that was X right there, actually, let's start from scratch here. So, this is your X point, and you get an A like that, and this one retraces, for example, I don't know, which one do you guys want to talk about right now? A cipher. So let's go for, like, a 618 level there, and then we have a retracement to like the 1.414 or something max, right? And this one, and then the last one goes to 786, about 786 of this number here at the lower end, right? So something like this. That's a cipher pattern, right? You guys have seen those before. There's many different types of harmonics as well. There's butterflies, there's bats, but I'm not going to get into it. And the reason why is because not even everyone understands Fibonacci, guys. Fibonacci is one of the most, it's a simple topic, but it's hard to master. But unless you master Fibonacci, you're not going to understand ciphers. So I appreciate that you guys have brought that up to talk about, XABCD ciphers, etc. here. But it's just not going to happen until people are much more comfortable with other things. So what do you guys notice right now, huh? What you guys notice is that we're uptrending right now here, right? Look, we gone up by 50 bucks already. On the hour chart, let's see if we're getting a close. Look at that. We're getting a tweezer. Getting beautiful tweezer right now. It's actually looking really good already. Do you guys know what a tweezer is? Let me show you. It looks kind of like this. And this, like, this one doesn't really have a wick, but I would definitely consider it pretty darn good or close to a tweezer. And then this one is red, right? Usually a traditional tweezer looks something like that. Just imagine literally tweezers, right? It's pretty good. This one already, guys, it's only 7 minutes in, right? And it actually shot up. And then do you guys know what this will end up making? It'll end up making a bear or bullish engulfing candle. And a bullish engulfing candle is actually really good. So yeah, I think we're gonna end up, look at this, we're already getting a bullish engulfing candle. That's starting to happen already here. We gotta go over more advanced stuff, guys. We have to go over more advanced stuff because I want you guys to also understand what I'm talking about, because sometimes I feel like not everybody understands what I'm talking about. So I think you guys really need to give me some requests for lessons, okay? Not just coins to do TA on. Like, don't just request coins all the time. You guys need to request learning material, right? I don't want to just do the TA for you guys and just give you guys, buy and sell signals. I want you guys to give me ideas for topics to teach. So anyways, this was a really long video. It was a more untraditional and unconventional way to do TA with you guys. But I think today I wanted to do this to give you guys an idea of how I really think, usually I go in, I've got a game plan already, I've planned everything ahead. But this time I actually just dove into it. I just dove into it and I just got into it with you guys. So now that we know, okay, that this is the bottom, right? Because it's a mass resists area, right? Like, I've deduced already, and I've talked about so many things, guys, about how I just do not believe that this will break right now. We just got to take the most relevant trend line, okay? There's a relevant trend line here. This one would say, oh yeah, that's a relevant trend line, but nah, it's not, guys, okay? It's really not. You can't really treat this as any trend line. You can't even treat this one either like this. This just doesn't make sense if anyone says like that, okay? Like this one. Don't treat like that, okay? Don't skip one. Don't ever do that, guys, okay? Like where you skip one. Do you know what I mean? Don't ever skip a point there. Just take, take the average of the closest ones, obviously. And where do you guys think the closest one is? It's obviously this one, right? So now where are we gonna trend, guys? My guess is 8,006. No, I'm not gonna say it yet. Let me accurately say it. Give me a second. Give me a second, I need to get my story straight. My friends are in the bathroom. That's so funny. Okay, so I will predict something like that, actually, conservatively. I will predict $8,500. Okay, that's what I predict right here. Here we go. We're about to get a bearish, a bullish candle, I mean, called the inverted hammer. Good, good. Great that the bears are going to push it down. If they push it down, then we'll get an inverted hammer, which is still a bullish candle. If they don't, great. It's still going to be a bullish engulfing candle. Either way, but because we pushed it up this much already, it's going to be a very bullish candle, guys. Look at this. This is a 1 hour chart, guys. This is a 1 hour chart, and it's only 10 minutes in, and we've done more volume in this 1 hour than in the last hour already, 10 minutes in, which is only 1/6 of it. So the bulls are now on the offense, right? These shorts are going up, but this one is going up way more right now. In the past few minutes, look at this, guys. In the past few minutes, how much has gone up there, okay? So the bulls and the bears are 100% fighting with each other right now. And we're talking like really, like they're really fighting with each other right now, okay, guys? So this is one of the most epic fights that I have ever seen in a long time. So my plans are that I do believe it is going to go for about $8,500, okay? Because everything just happens to fit in my box, guys. So yeah. And you guys know me way better than that by now. I don't say things unless I mean it, right? I don't beat around the bush. I don't cause FUD. I don't shill. I don't pump things up. I'm a trader. I don't need you guys to, buy into my position. This is the position I'm in right here. I'm gonna be really honest, right? I don't need to shill or anything. I'm not even trading Bitcoin. This is all for you guys, okay? This is my position right here, all right? I talked about it already. I was down $50, $60, $70, but because I rationalized what was going on with Bitcoin, it prevented me from closing my position and taking a loss. And now I'm back up to 42 something dollars. So, and don't worry about my liquidation price, guys. I can put a lot more money into it if you want. One time someone said to me, oh, it seems like you're gonna get liquidated. Trust me, guys, I would never get liquidated if my life depended on it. Just put it that way, okay? I've got a set of rules that I keep to myself, which is this. You are not allowed, Philicon, to play more than $5,000 in your margin account, okay? My rules are simple, guys. I scalp, I focus on volatility, and I play $5,000 positions. I go for $50 to $100 gains per day many times, and there are many days where I will make well over $1,000. Sometimes I will make well over $5,000. So I don't need you guys to like pump up a coin or anything like that at all in any way, right? I just want to do a legitimate TA for you. I've had too much coffee, guys, to be honest. I'm so wired right now. So we're talking about a 6% gain for Bitcoin, guys. That's like the first target that I can think of. But keep in mind that 6% for Bitcoin is like 15, 20% for other coins, right? It can really add up, guys. These things can add up an astronomical amount, okay? So what I'm getting to is altcoins, they tend to move the same percentage as Bitcoin, but multiplied by a factor. Like some coins might multiply by 1.5, right? Something like that. Like EOS and Bitcoin, for example, if Bitcoin goes up 5%, EOS will go up about 8, 9% from what I find. And I'm heavily trading EOS the majority of the time. And probably Litecoin, maybe Litecoin, maybe NEO, maybe XRP, but my main focus right now is EOS, the day trade. Anyways, I wrapped it up. I do believe there's going to be a bounce here to $8,500, and we're going to go from there, guys. I just don't see anything else that we can talk about, so have yourselves a great night. If you guys enjoyed this weird video of mine today, it was one of the more weird ones, right? But I'm not going to hide behind a computer and be someone I'm not. You guys are always going to get the real me. If you guys enjoyed this, please upvote it on Steam it. Make sure you also like, subscribe, and share to the material as well on YouTube and on Twitter. And if you guys especially want to let me know I'm doing a good job, consider buying me a beer or a lunch by donating to Luna's cryptocurrency piggy bank. And I always need to emphasize, I don't need you guys to do that, right? But let's not deny it. Who doesn't love to be taken out for lunch or have a drink bought for them? Just put it that way, right? It just makes you feel like you're special. Because my mom doesn't tell me I'm special enough. My mom doesn't tell me she loves me. Okay, traders, have yourselves a good night. And I beat this to death, this chart, right tonight. It was one of the hardest TAs I've ever had to do because I'm just so confused by it. So have a good night, guys, and take care of yourselves. Bye.